By this time, we had realized how difficult it is to reach many of these places in Arunachal Pradesh. Very difficult terrains, very difficult roads, many of the places practically inaccessible unless we made some special efforts. But we came to know that it is necessary to reach those places. When we reached there, when we saw the patients, when we provided them with medicines, with glasses, we could restore eyesight of so many people with simplest of things. There were of course some patients like old patients who had very advanced cataract, and they just thought that it's practically near end of their life and they are not going to see ever. There were some young patients. I have seen a few young patients with a condition called retinal detachment, and their vision was severely compromised. But the important thing is these diseases, if diagnosed, they are completely treatable. We can restore the vision of these patients. But unless they are examined and properly guided, how will they get their vision back? So it is necessary to reach out to these people. Of course, me and Naina have been traveling and trying to do our best. But I feel that the incessant work of Vivekananda Kendra volunteers is something to be admired. Through the year, they are looking for such areas, they are looking where health has not reached, and they organize these camps. So I am in complete admiration of the Vivekananda Kendra volunteers. Whenever we worked in these eye camps, we always tried to be a part of that village itself. Almost always we stayed with those villagers. During the daytime, our lunch used to be something like a stopgap arrangement, just have something quickly, some quick bites in 10 to 15 minutes. But dinners we used to always have with the villagers. There is a tradition in Arunachal Pradesh that when you go to somebody's house, in one room which serves as the kitchen, there is a fireplace in between with a pan on top. The lady sits over there, she cooks the food and she gives it to everybody who's sitting around. So we used to sit in kitchens like this. The hostess would be there cooking the food, and we used to all sit around. The host, me, Naina, volunteers of Vivekananda Kendra, our drivers, occasionally a villager. We used to sit together and have food. We used to have conversations with them, so we could understand their difficulties. What are their miseries? We could really become a part of them, and that really helped. Because of this learning, in each camp, I knew how better to serve these villagers. That's something where we did not remain as tourists, but we became a part of them. That's one of the reasons of success of these camps. Even though we used to examine patients officially at the site of the eye camp, it did not stop us from seeing patients anywhere else. We used to travel even after the camp, say from Tinsukia to Pasighat, Tinsukia to a village called Along or Alo it is called, and well beyond that to the northernmost part there was a village called Menchuka, very close to China border. On the way, we used to stop sometimes to have a cup of tea, sometimes to buy local specialities. I remember once we stopped on the way because we saw some beautiful baskets which were made by one lady. These baskets are made by cane. We got a few of them. They are very beautiful and very strong. I remember in Pune, if me and Naina go to any of the shops and we carry that basket with us, the shopkeepers ask us, "Sir, where have you got these baskets from? They are so beautiful and at the same time, they are so strong. You are carrying so much of luggage. Really tell us where you got it from." They are from Arunachal Pradesh. At one such place, when this lady was giving us the baskets, she asked us, "Sir, why don't you come to my village and examine patients here?" I said, "Certainly, given a chance, we would love to come and examine patients. But if there is something very urgent, something serious, do let me know. I can come to your house just now. We have got the machinery with us. I'll be very happy to come home and examine somebody if you feel it's necessary." Even in Menchuka, where we stayed with a couple again, if somebody had a problem, because of the machinery, the portable equipments that we had, we could render service to patients even beyond the eye camps. Although it was difficult to go from one place to the other in Arunachal Pradesh, some of those journeys were really very arduous, very difficult terrain to go. the work, and after that this travel, one could feel tired. But what came to our rescue was the beautiful nature in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh, all those areas are surrounded by beautiful mountains of the Himalayan range. The snow-clad mountains, the beautiful valleys, it was all very pleasing. We would come across a lot of waterfalls, some of them very ferocious, some of them very pleasing to the eye. They would take care of our mental state. But more than this nature, it was the attitude of the villagers, the patients. They showed so much affection, so much love towards us, without exception, across the board, all the villages in Arunachal Pradesh. It is their fondness towards us that took care that we would never get tired in spite of any hard work that we did. One of the most memorable moments amongst hundreds of patients which I have examined in Arunachal Pradesh, that involves a small child. In one of the eye camps, a small child was brought to us by his father. The father said, "Doctor, he has not opened his eyes for the last 6 days." I said, "Okay, let's try and examine him. What's wrong with him?" So I went near the child and I tried to open his eyes. But he had closed his eyelids tightly, and with the best of efforts, I really couldn't open his eyes. Then I thought of one trick. I had carried drops which are called tetracaine, which is nothing but a local anesthetic drop. Tetracaine drops are preservative-free anesthetic drops which I get from England every time I go there. They are not very easily available in India, but I get them from England. They are of great use to me when I examine patients in Arunachal Pradesh. So I gave those drops to Naina. I told Naina that Naina somehow try to put one drop in his eye. What you can do is pull down his lower eyelid. Even if he tries to squeeze, you'll still have a little gap through which you can put that drop. And I said, after 5 minutes, try to repeat one more drop and let's see what happens. In the meanwhile, I'll try to finish 1 or 2 patients. So I gave her the drops, I looked to the side and I started examining a couple of patients. After 5 minutes, Naina told me that she has been successful in instilling 2 drops in his eyes. I turned my face and looked at the child. He had opened his eyes. And what was wrong with him? His eyes were completely dry. The cornea, which is the frontmost transparent part of your eye, had become cloudy. These were the signs of vitamin A deficiency. Treatment? Simple. Take him to the primary healthcare center and give him injections of vitamin A. If this child was not examined, then a simple disease with a simple treatment would have been undiagnosed, and that child would have become blind for his lifetime. I consider myself extremely fortunate that I was there on that day to diagnose this condition and to give him the correct treatment and avert permanent blindness for that child. People often ask me, Dr. Dikshit, what is the single image of Arunachal Pradesh that you carry in your mind? Is it the sunrise of Arunachal Pradesh, the Arunodaya? I say yes, of course. It is the sunrise of Arunachal Pradesh, because the first sunrise of our country, India, is at a town called Dong at the eastern border of Arunachal Pradesh. So of course I remember sunrise as the important image of Arunachal. But more than that, it's not that sunrise, it is this sunrise. When that small child, after a lot of efforts, opened his eyes, that sunrise is the image which is constantly etched in my mind. To ensure that this medical service, and especially in my case the eye care service, reaches the nooks and corners of Arunachal Pradesh, it's a long and difficult journey. I'm aware of it. But we have at least made the beginning, and I'm sure that we'll reach there. I have put forth my past in front of you. I'm here in front of you in the present. What I'm asking is a little bit of time of your future. Please devote some time of your future doing something for the society. We must do something and give something to the society. We must give something to the nation because it is our nation. It may be a drop in the ocean, but remember, it is one drop in the ocean for our nation.